This is the synthetic signal report for Sunday, April 26th, 2026, in the morning. Today's report examines a silent installation vulnerability affecting iPhones, the implementation of age control measures in the European Union, and a breakthrough in mathematics facilitated by ChatGPT. We also provide a technical breakdown of the hardware requirements for the OpenClaw agent framework and analyze the impact of Intel's decision to sell scrap silicon. In global news, we cover the shooting at the White House Correspondents Dinner and the death of a senior military leader in Mali. A significant security concern is emerging for iPhone users as the Headspace application reportedly installs itself without user consent. Multiple reports indicate that for several consecutive days, the app has appeared on devices around 1 in the afternoon. This behavior persists even when users have disabled automatic downloads in their system settings. The issue is confirmed on hardware ranging from the iPhone 12 to the latest iPhone 17. This suggests a potential flaw in the Apple App Store distribution protocol or an unauthorized push through carrier-level management systems. Users have updated to the latest version of iOS, but the silent installations have not ceased. This development indicates a possible compromise in how Apple manages remote application deployment across its ecosystem. The European Union is advancing age control protocols that analysts are describing as a Trojan horse for mandatory digital identification. The proposed technical framework requires users to utilize a verified identity layer to access common digital services and platforms. This is not a simple verification check, but a persistent infrastructure that links a biological identity to a digital footprint. This development moves the internet toward a verification-first model, where anonymity is functionally eliminated. Proponents argue this is necessary for child safety, but critics point to the infrastructure as a foundation for a centralized digital ID system that could be expanded to monitor all online activities. In a signal from the future of mathematics, an amateur mathematician has used ChatGPT to solve a long-standing problem originally posed by Paul Erdős. This specific problem had remained unsolved for decades until the user leveraged the model to identify new logical paths. This is a grounded example of how frontier models are becoming effective reasoning partners for complex combinatorial problems. The resolution of this problem demonstrates that large language models are moving beyond simple text generation and into the territory of formal logical discovery. It also raises new questions about how scientific breakthroughs will be credited when a human guides a machine through a complex proof. The OpenClaw framework has reached a critical stage of adoption for autonomous agents. Version 2026.4.12 is now the stable release. The system is a proactive daemon that operates through messaging channels like Telegram, Slack, and Signal. To run this effectively, the hardware requirements are more demanding than the official documentation suggests. The core gateway requires Node.js version 22. While the minimum spec is 4 GB of memory, this is the absolute floor for idle operation. For active browser automation using Playwright, 16 GB of memory is the realistic requirement. Each browser instance adds roughly 400 megabytes of overhead. If you intend to run local inference with an 8 billion parameter model like Llama 3, 32 gigabytes of memory is necessary. The community has identified the Mac Mini M4 as a top-tier choice for these workloads due to its unified memory architecture, which allows for 8 simultaneous agents without thermal throttling. Alternatively, the Geekom A5 with 32 gigabytes of memory provides a high-value option for Windows and Linux users. For high-density local inference, hardware like the Asimagic F5A is being used because of its dedicated 50-top neural processing unit. Intel has confirmed a structural change in its sales strategy by selling processors that would normally be classified as scrap or low-expectation chips. Due to the overwhelming demand for any available compute capacity for artificial intelligence, customers are now willing to accept these lower-quality chips. This strategy has provided a tangible revenue boost for Intel's investor relations team. It highlights a desperate state in the global semiconductor market where functional silicon is prioritized over performance bins. This trend suggests that the standard for acceptable enterprise hardware is shifting toward availability rather than peak efficiency. A shooting occurred at the White House Correspondents Dinner Gala in Washington. A 31-year-old suspect was arrested and faces charges for the attempted murder of a federal officer. The incident caused an evacuation and high levels of concern for the attending government officials and journalists. In West Africa, the defense minister of Mali, Sadio Kamara, was killed in a rebel attack in Katy on Saturday. Kamara was a prominent leader in the ruling military junta, and his death creates a significant power vacuum in a region already facing high instability. Additionally, the research community is mourning the death of Nancy Cox, a veteran of the CDC and a global leader in influenza research, who passed away at age 77. The community is currently monitoring a critical telecom surveillance campaign identified by Citizen Lab. The research links real-world attack traffic directly to mobile operator signaling infrastructure, suggesting sophisticated nation-state actors are exploiting global mobile networks for covert surveillance. On social media, the concept of whitefishing is gaining attention. Users are utilizing AI avatars to change their perceived race on platforms like LinkedIn. One creator reported that recruiter outreach increased significantly when using a white avatar, despite keeping all other professional data identical. In security news, multiple high-severity vulnerabilities have been identified in Tinda and Totolink routers. A critical command injection flaw affects the Totolink A8000RU, while the Tinda FH1202 is vulnerable to a stack-based buffer overflow. Finally, a new local language model bot named Clanker21000 is now being used to uncover bugs in the Linux kernel, running locally on a framework desktop to maintain privacy and reduce cloud costs.